All right, guys, this morning we were back from the mountains, and I'm going to get some miles in one of my favorites from this year. Light, simple, fun, no-frills shoe, New Balance Rebel V4, and also a great shoe for short distance races and short distance training. So this morning, I want to highlight some of the best options on the market if you are training for a 5K, whether it's your first 5K or your 101st 5K. A lot of these shoes are going to be comfortable, supportive, in the right places, while also being light enough for faster running and versatile enough for all the types of workouts that we'll need to do during 5K training. So with that, guys, let's get into it. Brick. So much about the New Balance Rebel V4 is that it's lightweight, but it still has the softer, bouncier cushion that we're seeing across a lot of the shoes on the market right now. So it's a bit of a mix between new and old when we're thinking about shoes. And if you haven't been running for a while, or if you haven't bought a new running shoe for a while, you might notice that the stack heights, or the amount of foam we're seeing in these shoes, are really tall. And that's a trend across the market. And now, me personally, I train for marathons. I love running high mileage. I love running 20-mile long runs, but I also want to make sure I'm doing a better job on this channel of highlighting shoes that are going to be good for people at different phases of their running journey, and also people who are specializing in different events, whether that's a 5K on the roads or you're an 800-meter runner. We are going to do some track spike testing soon, so stay tuned for that. Not me personally. I'm adding a friend, Caden. He runs track at Yale. But in terms of these shoes here, great for shorter distance runs. And the reason I was thinking about highlighting these shoes and putting together this list is because I came across a post on one of the forums yesterday, and somebody was asking about good shoes for 5K training, and they mentioned that they'd watched a few videos, I think probably one of mine, and said that we were only talking about marathon pace. So I want to make sure I'm doing a better job of highlighting shoes that work well for a bunch of different styles of training, not just high mileage running. So today we will start first with this 5K training shoe, and New Balance Rebel V4, great one for shorter distances. So with that, guys, plan for the run. We're going to get 8 miles in, and I'll be back bringing you the 5 best shoes for 5K training. Let's get into it. All right, guys, bang, 8.01 miles in the books in the New Balance Rebel V4. Nice, relaxed, 8-minute pace. Now, as I mentioned, the reason why I wanted to put this video together is because I saw a post and somebody was asking for 5K training shoes, because a lot of the recommendations that they saw only talked about shoes going up to half marathon or marathon pace. Now, of course, no matter how fast you are, your 5K, your 10K pace is going to be faster than your half marathon or marathon pace, simply because it's a shorter race. But that pace is going to differ based on how long you've been training, what long runs you're doing, and of course that pace is also different for everybody, so your individual capabilities. So for me, my marathon pace is about a 6:30. That might be somebody's 5K pace. Your 5K pace might be 8 minutes, and that might be somebody's marathon pace. So with a shoe like the New Balance Rebel V4, if I'm saying it's only great up to a certain pace, keep in mind that for me, that's going to be different than anybody else out there. Now, let's pop these shoes off and talk about why they're great. So the Rebel V4 here is, of course, going to be first on our list here for top 5K training shoes out there. And the reason I love this shoe, especially for shorter distances, is it's much lighter than any of these other everyday running shoes in this category. It also has
a really comfortable soft foam for how light it is, and it's not overly cumbersome. As I mentioned, a lot of the shoes today are going up with these super tall stack heights. This looks big on camera, but it's not actually one of the tallest shoes out there. It's 30 millimeters in the back. A lot of the dedicated marathon training shoes are 40 millimeters now, some even higher than 40 millimeters. So main difference between Rebel and shoes that are truly designed for longer distance runs, half marathon and marathon training, is that those shoes are designed for more time on feet. This is not my favorite for taking it past an hour or 90 minutes, but that's why I'm putting it on this list here. I love it for everything under an hour. And if you're training for a 5K or even a 10K, most of your runs, if you're a newer runner or even intermediate level runner, these will likely be an hour, 90 minutes or below. If you do have 2-hour long runs, I wouldn't use the Rebel for that. But in terms of where I'd slot this in, everyday runs, if you want that faster feel, if you want a nice, simple, lightweight shoe for any workouts where you're doing faster pace, this is going to be great. Then it's also a great shoe for walking around, some gym use. It does have a nice planted feel up here, and even though it is softer, it's not super unstable. It actually does have decent stability. Now, if you're going to be doing a bunch of lateral cuts or playing basketball or something, this is not the shoe that I would recommend, because it's a low top shoe and it's not designed to handle lateral side to side forces. But for walking around the gym, doing some simple weightlifting, this is a good choice. Now, other things, durability, this is probably going to be average for me. I'm guessing about 300 miles out of this shoe. You can see we do have some wear on the bottom here. Not terrible, not great. The grip is actually really good. So wet weather performance of the shoe is awesome. And then looks, I think this thing is killer. This thing is a really good looking shoe, and they have it in a bunch of different colorways. So that is the New Balance Rebel V4, first on the list for best 5K training shoes. I'm going to pop this other one off, and then I actually might do a workout with Charlie. I think we might do a little modified Memorial Day Murph. I may or may not use the Rebel V4. So I will pop back out here with the other 4 recommendations in a bit. All right, guys. So next up here, we are back outside, by the way. We have the Hoka Mach 6. Now, this is a competitor shoe to the New Balance Rebel V4. Both of these shoes are awesome. Some of my favorite shoes of the year. Key differences between these: Rebel is a little bit lower stacked down to the ground. It's not as protective feeling. It's also not as bouncy right out of the box as the Mach 6 here. So this is one of the most fun shoes that I've tried this year. It's made a ton of my lists. I actually don't run in it too much right now, just because the sizing on these guys is a little off. That's one of the downsides. Sizing is a little off. I got a 10.5 in this white color, and it fits like a 10 or a 9.5. I tried another colorway on the blue, and it fit perfect in 10.5. So that is something to note. If you are going to get this white colorway, you might want to either try to get it on foot or just make sure you're ordering it from a place where you can return it, because sizing is a little bit weird. I would go up half a size at least in the white colorway, so just make sure to get it on foot. So this is a great shoe for 5K training because it's fun, it's bouncy, it's soft, it's comfortable, but also has all of those faster speed capabilities. I love the previous version of the shoe, Mach 5, for the same exact thing. Very versatile, decently comfortable shoe that can also do some faster work. So in this guy here, I've done 520, 530, 540 pace, and I've also done recovery runs similar to what we were doing this morning, around an 830 pace. So if you want something that's fun, bouncy, and soft, I would go for the Hoka Mach 6 here. The Rebel is going to be a little bit better for gym use, but this guy is going to be the one if you want something that's great for running, and especially faster running. All right, guys, next up here, we have a tried and true favorite. This is the Nike Pegasus. I have the 39, but the 40 is going to be very similar thing. The midsole is the exact same. And the reason why this guy is making my list, it doesn't make a lot of the lists of best of this, best of that. It's not the most exciting. It's not the fanciest. It's not the most fun. But the reason it's making my list is because this is a true workhorse style shoe that you can use for any type of run. Now, if we compare this shoe, look at this, boom, to the Hoka Mach 6. Look at the difference in outsole rubber here. So both of these shoes have a good layer if we're thinking about front to back, but look at that back. The Mach 6 is completely exposed. Pegasus, you get a ton of rubber. And then if we just look at the thickness of it, you can see on the Mach 6 here, not too thick of a layer of rubber. Pegasus, we get a really thick layer of rubber. So Pegasus is a shoe that is known for its durability. My friend Sheldon actually sent me some pictures of a Pegasus that he took to 600 miles. Let me fire this up for you guys right here. So look at this, 600 miles on this guy. It is not in bad shape at all. Look at this outsole after 600 miles. This color is fire, by the way, but the upper is in decent shape too. So this is a shoe that's just going to last forever and ever. And look at this, tongue still padded, still fluffy. Laces aren't broken or anything like that. So this is a shoe that's going to last for a long time. In the ride of it, it has a nice pep to it once you pick up the pace. I've done, again, every pace that I could run in the shoe. I used it for half marathon training. It's not the sexiest. It's not the most exciting. It's not the newest shoe to hit the market, but it is great value because you can buy the shoe for close to $60 or $70 right now. So one of the best deals on the market. There also are some really nice colorways of this thing. This is the University colorway in the 39. They have some cool colorways in the 40. I will be testing the 41 as soon as I can get my hands on it as well, so stay tuned for that. But this guy uses a foam called React in the midsole. It's got a decent pep to it. It's not super soft, not super firm, right in the middle. And then the other reason I love this shoe so much is because I can just slip it on and off. I've taken it through TSA. I've taken the shoe to, I think I took it to the top of the World Trade Center. I've taken it to a bunch of, I took it to TRE. This is my shoe that I flew down to the running event last year in Austin. So a great travel shoe. Again, great gym shoe, walking shoe, errand shoe, and still looks pretty good. I know a lot of people now are gravitating towards brands like Asics, Saucony, Hoka, New Balance. I am as well, but Nike still does have some solid training shoe options out there, and the Pegasus is certainly one of them. So $60 or $70 for this guy. Great deal for training for your first 5K. You can do long runs, you can do short runs, any type of run you want to do in the Pegasus. All right, guys, next up here, we have a shoe that is a little bit more on the fun and exciting side, and that is the Saucony Endorphin Speed 3. Now, Saucony is on to the 4th generation of the shoe now, Saucony Endorphin Speed 4. I actually prefer the Speed 3. So they made some subtle and slight changes from the 3 to the 4. They've changed the geometry underfoot. They've changed a little bit how the plate feels. They've changed the upper. I think the 3 just brings all the elements together a little bit better. You have the race foam, you have a plastic plate, you have a decently flexible platform. I actually think the 3 might be a little bit more rigid than the 4, and then you also have this lightweight upper. And the 3 brings those together in an amazing way. It still has that magic feeling where you just roll through and you pop up the forefoot. It's still fun, it's still bouncy, and like the Mach 6, it's a shoe that feels easy to run in and rolls you along, but the foam experience in here is probably just a little bit more elevated than anything else that we've highlighted so far, but it's still a great deal on sale for $130 right now at Running Warehouse. I'll put my link to that below if you want to support the channel. I actually think it might be $120. Either way, link will be below. So I've used this particular pair for 300 miles. I had another pair that was 300 miles as well. So in total, I've put more than 1,000 miles across all these shoes we're highlighting here today, but this guy is 600 miles. So this would be my top pick if you want something fun and bouncy and you don't mind running with a plate. There's some people out there who don't want to run in plates every day, which I agree with. I just feel weird about running in a plated shoe every day because it does give you a lot of assistance. So this might be a nice one to get if you already have a more basic shoe like a Pegasus or a Rebel or a Brooks Ghost or a Hoka Clifton, and you want a little bit of an elevated ride experience. This is going to be great for all of your 5K training workouts. If you're doing couch to 5K, this is probably not the one I would pick. I might go for the Pegasus. I might go for the Rebel, maybe even the Mach 6. This is really the one I would go to if you're going to be doing a lot of faster workouts. Maybe you have some longer runs in there for your 5K training. This is great for me up to 90 minutes to 2 hours. Once I get into marathon style long runs, not my favorite, but again, today we are highlighting 5K training shoes. So great deal, really fun shoe, really versatile. Saucony Endorphin Speed 3 on sale right now for $130. All right, guys, next up here we have the Puma Deviate Nitro 2, which I recently took to 100 miles. So this is the water repellent edition. I crowned this as the most versatile shoe in the game right now. Reason being, it has this Puma grip outsole, and you can see we got dried mud or sand all over the bottom of it, because I actually took this shoe hiking yesterday. So I did 4 miles on the treadmill, and then I took it hiking in the Blue Ridge Mountains, and the grip was fantastic. I don't trust very many shoes on my feet for hiking because I always hike nowadays with my son or daughter on my back. It's my son now. My daughter has graduated, Mason, and she's absolutely crushing it up the elevation and down hills and everything. So Reeves these on my back. I don't trust very many shoes, but the grip on this is great. So the reason I wanted to highlight it as a 5K training option, and it is not a basic shoe whatsoever. It's a fun shoe, bouncy shoe like the Speed 3, like the Mach 6. There's some good tech in here. You got 2 different types of foam. This Nitro Elite in the forefoot, as I said in the 100-mile review, is the star of the show. It's soft, but it's not too soft that you're squishing in. It just pops you right along, and you have the carbon composite plate. And so while I'm trying to highlight a little bit more basic shoes here, the reason this one is making the list is because of the grip. If you are going to be training for a 5K off-road, off-terrain, maybe park run, this is going to be a really solid shoe. It's nimble, it's fast, but unlike some of these other shoes here, for example, the Saucony Endorphin Speed 3, I would not love using that on a super twisty and turny training route. Same thing for the Mach 6. Stability isn't the best on that. But this guy, even though it does have a taller stack of foam compared to some of the other shoes like the Rebel V4, it has lots of good grip so you can navigate any of those twists and turns and any of those wet, muddy passes with ease. So if you're training for a park run, if you're training for cross-country 5K, this would be a top pick as a daily trainer and a workout shoe. Again, not the most basic option, which is a good thing because you're getting a lot of the tech that's going to help with faster running. So Puma Deviate Nitro 2, there are some deals popping up here and there. It's not on sale at Running Warehouse anymore, and it's not on sale at Dick's Sporting Goods. So I'll just put my Running Warehouse link below. If you know a better deal, let me know, because I haven't been able to find very many deals on this shoe recently. But full price, it is $160. All right, guys, so those were our top 5. I did want to do one bonus shoe here. You are not going to be surprised. It is the Asics Novablast 4. And the reason I'm highlighting this as a bonus pick and the reason it didn't make the list is because for 5Ks and 5K training, we want shoes that are a little bit more nimble, a little bit lighter. We don't need as much stack if we're not going to be doing super high mileage weeks. This is very cushioned, very supportive, tons of stack, really stable with the wide base here. Let's just compare it to the Pegasus, which is one of the more basic shoes out there. You can see it's a lot taller and a lot wider. So the reason it's making this list is if you want a shoe that's more supportive and more stable, maybe you're a bigger runner, maybe you just want a lot of protection if you are in that couch to 5K category, or you just want a more comfort-oriented shoe than any of the ones I've listed here. None of the other 5 that I've listed are supreme comfort. They're not the most padded. I went for a lighter weight, more simple, stripped-down shoe for this 5K style training. But if you want a shoe that's more designed for marathon style training or just comfort for time on feet, I would go for the Novablast here. Also, if you need some stability but don't want a full-blown stability shoe, this is a great option too. Comes in at $140, like the Rebel V4 and like the Hoka Mach 6. So there you have it today. Quick little wrap up here. Speed round. Rebel V4, this is the one I would pick if you want lightweight, simple, easy to run in, can use for gym work. Hoka Mach 6, where is it? This is the one I would choose if you want fun, bouncy, soft, really versatile. $140. Might not be the most durable shoe, but really enjoyable to run in. Nike Pegasus, if you want a very durable workhorse style shoe that's just going to last forever, I would go for this guy. Saucony Endorphin Speed 3. Like the Mach 6, fun and bouncy, but a little bit more snap, a little bit more speed assistance. This is going to be a good pick if you want something to add in with an existing basic shoe, or if you don't mind running in a plated shoe every day. And then the last one here, Puma Deviate Nitro 2. This is going to be the shoe if you want something for outdoor miles, in the rain, off-road miles, and a lot of grip, a lot of protection with that fun bouncy ride. So I hope this video was helpful, guys. Let me know what other list roundups you want to see. These are some of the top shoes on the market right now. Some of my favorite shoes as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back tomorrow with another video. All right, one more thing, guys. Nike Vomero 17. I know I'm going to get asked why this shoe did not make the list. There's no reason that I left it off. It's not a bad shoe for 5K training. However, the Nike Pegasus 39 and 40 you're going to get a more basic version of this. It's going to be a lot cheaper. This one is on sale for $90. It is a good option if you want a more built up, more cushioned marathon style shoe like the Asics Novablast 4, but for the purposes of this list, if you're not reaching for super high mileage, if you don't need the most cushion in the world, if you're not doing a ton of runs over an hour, over 90 minutes, if you're not running every day, I would go for the Pegasus or the Mach 6 over this for the price. Still an awesome shoe, still one of my favorites. It's hard putting these lists together sometimes because when you include one, you got to leave another off. It's like the conversation about the Hall of Fame or basketball all-star game. Who are you going to take out if you put someone else in? So still a good shoe, but for the purposes of this list, Nike Pegasus is the one that made the cut. Vomero 17 is also an awesome workhorse style shoe. A little bit softer, a little bit bouncier, a little bit heavier on foot. So there you have it, guys. I'll be back tomorrow with another video.